Welcome to The Play. I'm Dave Morris. Thanks for clicking. We'll take a look at the big story of the day. It involves Oklahoma State and the coverage that we'll have in tomorrow's editions of the Oklahoman. A Sports Illustrated report claims that several Oklahoma State football players from 2001 to 2011 received payment for performance and no-show jobs. These allegations came in the first of a 5-part series. It's called The Dirty Game, released by Sports Illustrated on its website Tuesday. Here to tell us more about the stories the Oklahoman will have is sports editor Mike Sherman. And Mike, we ran into you earlier this morning. You're like, hey, I'm hustling downstairs to a meeting. We have a lot to get to, a lot of coverage. Let's start with Barry Trammell. What's Barry working on?
Well, Dave, Barry's working on a column really about the reaction today. There's been a lot of reaction all over the board in Oklahoma City, and a lot of the reaction has been shame on Sports Illustrated. There's a lot of people debunking the report, taking issue with a lot of things. A lot of people who are quoted in the report are now coming back saying, well, I didn't exactly say that. Boone Pickens himself has issued a statement saying he's disappointed and ashamed of Sports Illustrated for its kind of reporting. Barry's saying there's a lot of shame to go around here, including some shame on Oklahoma State. His point is sort of one half of this is true, the university has really messed up, and that he says, shooting the messenger, looking for what's wrong with the report's really missing an opportunity to really do some self-examination for Oklahoma State's part. That's a column Barry's working on for the Oklahoman and News OK.
One of your other columnists, Ginny Carlson. What's she working on today?
Ginny's talked to the boosters who are implicated by Sports Illustrated in this reporter, Kay Norris, and then John Talley. John's the FCA guy in Stillwater. Kay Norris was the person behind Heritage Hall, the Hall of Fame and the place where OSU sort of displays its athletic treasures right there between the stadium and Gallagher-Iba Arena. And Kay is accused by Sports Illustrated of giving improper benefits to athletes, paying too much money for cleaning of rental houses. And John Talley is accused of paying people to speak, giving too much money to athletes. So she's talking to the people around them. Kay's died, and her son Chris runs the Spirit Shop there at Oklahoma State. So she's talking to them and really getting their side of that story. Not a lot of that couldn't talk to Kay. John Talley is quoted in passing in the Sports Illustrated. So she's getting their side of that story.
You know, I mentioned this was part 1 of 5 parts released by Sports Illustrated, and part 1 dealt a lot with Joe DeForest, and John Helsley is looking at that angle.
Yeah, John was covering Oklahoma State when Joe got there with Les Miles, and John's still covering him. He's one of the people that sort of spanned the time of this. Joe DeForest is a really interesting person in this investigation. In Sports Illustrated, he's at the center of what is an alleged pay-for-performance program. Players got paid allegedly for everything like sacks, tackles, special team performances, and the allegation is that he was at the middle of it. But the article really doesn't get to the importance of Joe DeForest. Maybe it will coming up, but Joe was a big guy. He's the only holdover from the Mike Gundy, or from the Les Miles to the Mike Gundy staff. Of course, Mike Gundy was too, but he was elevated to head coach. So he's important there. He opened up the recruiting, or kept it going, or really grew the recruiting for Oklahoma State in Houston, a very important recruiting hotbed for the Cowboys. And he was the coach of the special teams, which during Joe DeForest's time there was some of the best. Quinn Sharp, the kickoff returns, punt returns. So that was like a hidden part of the Cowboys' success. And then according to Sports Illustrated, there was a whole nother hidden part of the Cowboys' success. John's writing about Joe DeForest and is planning to talk to Joe after West Virginia's practice this evening.
So Mike Sherman, sports editor of the Oklahoman, and his crew will have plenty of coverage tomorrow. Before I let you go, I want to ask you one more question. We held a chat on newsok.com earlier today, and we'll have one tomorrow, a 4-hour chat. What was some of the interest from the fans? Because, following social media, Facebook and Twitter, it's been the big topic here locally, right up there with the iPhone. But what were sports fans and I guess just media fans in general saying today?
Well, big interest was what's going to happen to Oklahoma State. There's a lot of questions about what could happen. There's also a lot of debunking of this story. A lot of people, when these investigations used to come out, investigations about SMU, investigations about Oklahoma in Sports Illustrated way back in the days of Switzer's, there was no internet. People couldn't Google up stuff. Well, now they can, and so they've Googled backgrounds of the writers. Thayer Evans, a writer from Oklahoma who's one of the Sports Illustrated writers, they've Googled up his stories. They have questions about him, lots of them. They have questions about what kind of writer is George Dorman. This guy's won a Pulitzer Prize, and people are able to background on him. But they're also really wondering, they're trying to sew together the facts. They're saying, can this be true? What about this? What about that? So really it was going through the entire story, in fact, paragraph by paragraph. What about this? What about them? What about this guy? How come they haven't interviewed this? It was really, and helping them also find previous reporting on these very topics. So it's just sort of a conversation all day long about this story. Kudos to Sports Illustrated for its work on this.
Our chat tomorrow on newsok.com will be at what time?
It's going to be the Sports Illustrated second part is going to post at 8 o'clock, and shortly after that we'll be up and chatting on News OK.
Very good. Mike, I know you've had a busy day. Kudos to you and your crew for your coverage and your work. And thanks for your time here today on The Play.
Thanks, Dave.
All right, guys, these stories and more can be found in tomorrow's editions of the Oklahoman. And, of course, we'll keep newsok.com updated as well. Have a great night, everyone.